The Colorado Buffaloes are 7-2 people. They take down the Texas Tech Raiders out there in Lubbock, go in a hostile environment, come out with a win, 41-27. I have the best game notes ever. I'm going to get to that in probably another minute, but I want to talk to you about Shedeur Sanders. I truly believe he is going to be the first overall pick in the NFL draft. And I'm saying that because typically if you're the best quarterback in the class, you're probably going number one. Now, a lot of different things can happen. Carolina could get the number one pick and decide, hey, we want a dual threat, we want a receiver, we want a lineman, whatever, and then take that person. It's not Shedeur, but it's looking like it's going to be him. The cat is out of the bag. The next great quarterback is Cam Ward. He's played himself into the first round. He's a really, really good quarterback. But when you watch Shedeur play, you could tell that, like, this guy's NFL ready, and he's going first very, very high. If he's not number one, he's a top 3 pick. Let's go over his stats really briefly. Shedeur ended the game with 30 for 43, which is insane. That's asinine. 30 of 43. Like, his completion percentage is insanity. He threw for 291 yards, 3 touchdowns, and remember, he ran for a touchdown. I think the biggest difference in Colorado winning, for sure, especially when they hit the Big 12, I said this, they have to stop treating him like he's a pure drop back passer in the Big 12. You're not going to win that way. You're going to have to run the quarterback. Not a lot, but enough to keep the defense honest. He had 9 carries, 16 yards, and a rushing touchdown. He's been doing that all throughout the past few weeks. All right, now let's get just to the game notes. I want to say that Coach Prime told Texas Tech great Michael Crabtree on the Big Noon preview that they want the game over by the third quarter. And by the end of the first quarter, you knew that wasn't going to necessarily happen. This was the worst start of the season by Colorado on all sides of the ball. Offense, special teams, and defense. It was just flat out awful. I think they started worse here for this game than Nebraska. So the kickoff, they cannot get the ball to go out of the end zone. Coach Prime has said that they need to get the balls out of the end zone for the kickoffs. He must know that special teams may not be the best. I'm not going to be surprised if you see a few starters, offense and defense, on the kickoff team, because it is that big of an issue. They start the game, they can't kick it out of the end zone. There's a big return. They have a quick score. The defense failed to start the game to match the intensity. The special teams and the defense. Now, I will say this. They had a 2-week layoff, and sometimes that happens. You're used to getting like a week-to-week intensity battle where, on Saturdays, you're going to have to raise your intensity level. You take a Saturday off, you can get flat-footed. That's easy to do. But it really, really showed itself here. So the offense went 3 and out. The Raiders got the ball back. They go down the field. Defense held. They kicked the field goal. The crossing routes were beating Colorado's ass on defense. They just kept crossing and crossing. It was like watching Colorado State last year or watching North Dakota State this year when they played them. They just could not cover that because they were getting picked off. They switched to zone, which was a surprise. They were passing people off, and they were starting to settle down. That still resulted in a 13-0 end of the first quarter. Now, again, you can't predict the third quarter is going to be over and you're down 13-0 in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, everything turned around. It was a big play by Wester, tight roping. He's number 1 in our hearts, but he's number 10 on the field. He had to keep that jersey because the NCAA would not allow him to switch in the middle of the season. The NCAA just reminded everybody, like, bro, this is a business. You can't be doing that. But they were able to settle down. They got a field goal on their second drive in the second quarter, making it 13-10. But there was a missed opportunity at the end of the half. They ended up kicking the field goal to make it 13-10. But it was 3rd and 4, like right outside of the red zone, really outside the 10. And they just sent all the receivers in the end zone. And I'm like, it's 3rd and 4. Why don't you have a check down for Shedeur to keep them honest? He can run. Maybe he can hit the check down if he moves and changes the platform. But they didn't, and I think they missed the opportunity there. Nevertheless, in the third quarter, as soon as the third quarter hit, the Buffaloes got the ball and they scored on 3 straight possessions. They put up 21 points in the third quarter, taking firm control of the game. The Texas Tech got the game close again. They're at home. It happens. They got it to within 1 score. But man, the Buffaloes came up big with a fumble, causing a fumble where you thought it might have been a throw. Shiloh picks the ball up, runs it into the end zone, making it 41-27. Big shout out to Shiloh, because I can't tell you how many kids would just watch the ball fall on the ground thinking it's an incomplete pass and think the play is over. Shiloh picked it up, brought it to the end zone, put the game out of reach with Texas Tech, and Colorado is 7-2. It's unbelievable. Oh, and by the way, secret time. Colorado is firmly in control of their own destiny to the Big 12 championship game. As I speak, Utah and BYU are in an absolute dogfight. If BYU loses, Colorado may not have to win out. But right now, if they win out, they are guaranteed to go into the Big 12 championship game, because Iowa State lost. So they are firmly there. So something that wasn't even a possibility to a remote possibility to, if they win their next 3 games, no matter what happens, they're in the Big 12 championship game. They win that game, guess what? They're in the college football playoffs. Now, I don't know if they can compete on the top tier level. Like I said, I think Colorado is a really good team, and if they hit their stride, they could be a great team. But typically, that does not still bode well when you go against the powerhouses. You know, are they at Oregon or they're at Ohio State? Can they play with the SEC team, whether it's Alabama or even though Georgia lost, that's just the league. They lost to Ole Miss. Can they play a SEC powerhouse and win? That's a question I don't know. I would say venture. I wouldn't bet on it. I definitely wouldn't. But can they play with BYU? Absolutely. BYU is a very physical team, but they don't have the best skill positions. The Colorado Buffaloes have skill position advantage against anybody they play. They really legit. Shannon Sharp said this. They have 2 top 5 picks on their team. Travis Hunter is going top 5. And like I said before, I think Shedeur is going first overall. So they got an opportunity to for sure play with BYU and get in college football playoffs and see what happens. So y'all stay tuned. If I'm tripping, y'all let me know in the comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And I'll talk to y'all soon. Heritage Sports.